Pretty, isn't it? It's an Axelson 20-inch lathe. I think it was built around 1952, only because the number plates are not bronze like the others are. I think they went to a cheaper metal when the company bought them out. Anyway, I have a problem. I can't run this anymore. There's controls over there, there's controls here and over there. And due to the condition of my legs, which I don't know if y'all can see them, it's been 8 months and my legs have not healed themselves. I couldn't walk from over there to there without probably getting into trouble and falling down. The problem is I need to take a piece of metal somewhat like those down there and make something for my next project. Well, my next project is after I've built this, now I'm going to use it to solve my problem. But I'll give you some more. This is Bob. Meet Bob. Bob has a piece of stainless steel in the chuck right there. And I put it in there because this is a lathe that I can handle. I can sit on the chair there and reach all the components. Now, Bob is not the ideal tool to do what I need to do, but it'll work. That chucked up right now is a disc that's approximately 2.5 inches long or thick, about 6.5, 7 in diameter. It's ready to go, except I truly do not want to waste that piece of stainless steel on a project like I'm doing. You see, a little reverse. Sorry, but my wheelchair doesn't have a backup alarm or backup camera. This is part of Mountain Dew, is part of the next project. I need to make a backing plate that'll screw into these holes. It'll probably be centered on this inside ring and then come out. And it's like 6.5 inches. Well, I've got to be able to screw it. This was just something to show you. That's 6 inches. And it's just not enough. So I've got to go up in size. This is going to go on my welding rotator that I'm going to build out of another machine that has a horizontal output. So I want that to clamp onto the post as it comes out, and so I can turn. Not on this one, on the one coming up. So I got to digging around and looking in my scrap piles. And the closest piece of metal I could find that will do what I need to do to make that part is that. Problem is, I think I've reached about the limits of that chuck where I can safely turn things and have a good hold on it. See if you can see there, the dogs on the chuck are hanging out about 3/4 of an inch. Camera turned off, sorry. As you can see there, those dogs are sticking out about 3/4 of an inch. And to put this piece of metal on it it's going to be even worse. Now this is a collet type lathe. It's got a screw-on nose. My four-jaw is going to be about the same problem. So what do? That's what this video is all about, what I'm going to do. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is take this to another part of my shop. I've learned to push with my feet and do all kinds of things with them. I can walk with a walker as long as I have no balance because of my feet. The bottom of my feet feels like it's just covered in blisters, but as you can see, there are no blisters. And this right foot, I don't always know where it is, so walking is kind of okay. My feet, I use a lot because I don't have any place but my lap on this wheelchair. Now, what I've come up with is pretty easy to do. That'd already been done in 5 minutes if I could walk. This is what I call the dirty part of the shop. This is where welding and all that kind of stuff happens. It looks like I'm going to have to move some things around to get to the stuff. But this is where I need to be, and I don't want that trash can or these things in the way, so I need to move them. I can do it. Trash can's easy because it's nearly empty. This up a little bit closer. Now, this piece of metal that I'm pointing to down here is about 4 foot long, and a slice of that of 2 inches would be perfect. But I don't have a way to get that up to where I need to put it. So can't lift it. Guess I could try to get the roll around engine hoist over here and get a strap on it and pick it up, but I'd be pushing myself pretty far. Okay. Making progress. I uncovered my Miller 255. It's a really nice MIG gun. Oh, y'all think it's time to open up that Everlast for Dawn? Might be. There's the one that's broken. There's the one they sent me to upgrade, basically. Anyway, that's my main shop one. TIG machine's over there. Hydraulic press, radial arm drills back in the corner, all that works. There's my heat treat oven. I got 2 or 3 projects buried in there. That belt sander works. Use it, or used to use it a lot. Okay. I got to go get the other part. I'll be back. Well, get off there. Doggone, that magnet's strong. All right. I'm over here with the Spin Master 2000. And this is going to be its first use ever. The ground is hooked up now. And it goes, the ground is unhooked now. Kicked it with my foot. Oh. There, I did it. So now we got it grounded. Here's the torch over here. But you're asking me, what am I going to do? Well, this piece of metal weighs about 50 pounds. There it is. Now I need to make sure it's pretty much centered. When I made it, I made a little scratch mark here that goes all the way around. So I can use that for the center and check the dimensions. Tell you what, we'll put y'all guys up there in the stands. It's pretty well centered. That's full rotation speed. I can get it to go as slow as that right there. Which may be about where I need to do it. Okay, now that I've got started with this, I'm going to, first off, I want to spray this down with any splatter. So any welding pieces hopefully won't stick too bad. And then I'm going to weld a piece of pipe to the back of this that will fit in the jaws of that chuck safely. And I'll put that into the jaws. Let me show you. I'm going to cut a piece of this pipe off and then weld it to here, and it'll be about 2 inches to fit in the jaw. And then I'll do most of the work on the other side on the lathe, and then when I'm ready to get this off, I'll cut this off and we'll go to town. Right there. Now I want to get this as close as possible. 2.5, 2.5, 2 3/8, 2. That's 2.5 now. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Now, I don't have to get this thing perfect. And the reason is, once I chuck up on this, this may be off a little bit, but I'm going to cut so much of it off to expose the part that's within that it really doesn't matter. Now, it may be oblong and doing this when we start, but pretty soon it'll be one continuous circle that's defined as the axis of this pipe. Okay, what am I going to do now? Well, first off, I'm going to scratch that so I can see where it is, and then we'll take and put a little welding. This needs to be ground off so I can weld it. I don't want it flying off. So we'll do that and then put it back together. I know it's 2.5, so I can remember that. I'll be back. Well, I put it in the chuck. Got to plug it in now. Oh. What did y'all do with my cord? Put it over here, didn't you? Okay. Whoa! Didn't have the pipe in there. Started rolling. Got it. I love that little saw. Probably had it 15 years almost. And runs like a champ. It's dirty as hell, but it's a work saw. Now, this is what I got to work on next. Now, I don't really care about any of the mill coat on this pipe because I burn right through that little bit. But, excuse me, getting the rust and stuff off of that for a good grind I really need to do. This mill scale just cut right off. And then I'll have something like that I can chuck up in the lathe. So let me find a grinder. Okay, I put on my welding shirt that I use. Better be careful with this. Maybe put it up a little higher. And you might have seen I'm not wearing pants. My legs are too sensitive to wear them. So we're going to get ready and spray this anti-seize on here. Problem is, it's locked up, clogged up. You don't use things for nearly a year, things happen. Let's see if we can get this little drill to help it out. I say it's clogged up, it may be just not wanting to work anymore. It's totally full. It was a brand new bottle when I bought it. I get loud in here, folks. I can feel it coming out my finger out of the little hole over there. So now I know it's got air pressure and it's got cleared. I'm good at this with my hands shaking all the time. Ah, crap. Well, I'm back. That can is truly dead. Even this kind won't fit it. Maybe internal clog, I don't know. So I'm going to spray this down with a little blow shield, just hoping that nothing sticks very hard to it. And you know, you don't have to do this. In fact, this stuff is probably flammable. Waterproof lubrication. Precautions. May be flammable when wet. Don't spray on hot surfaces. Allow to dry thoroughly before heating. Looks like I screwed up. But it said do not expose when wet. So what I'm going to do is take and wipe off this excess, give it a chance to dry a little bit. Now I expect this thing over time to get dings and dents and stuff like that. Just can't help avoid it. You know, that's probably going to move if I hit it or bump it a little bit. So I think it would benefit from a weight being on top, such as this. Now I won't lose position on it. Now I've got you facing away from me because I'm going to be welding over here, and that way the bright flashes won't get you. I'm thinking, now I've never used one of these before, but I'm thinking that's about as slow as I need right there. Or I could go slower, and I might have to go faster. You know, this is the bane of my existence. I always wear out the right glove, so I need to find a one-armed partner to help. Okay. I'm going to use this blanket right here to cover my feet and my wheels up. I don't want my wheels to get damaged. Hope this works. Oh, I got to have a helmet. This is my op trail, the one with the air hose that attaches, but hopefully I don't need that for right now. I got a pair of cheaters installed on here, so I don't need my glasses. Let's just grab where's the, there it is. All right, get my blanket up here and the welding gun. Got to cover up my drink holder. Bought that off Amazon, and it's been the handiest thing I've bought in years. Okay, here's the gun. Why won't you cut? There we go. All right, ready to go. the rust is insulating it from the ground. Okay, in the interest of saving some time, I went and got a scribe. I'm going to this is carbide tips, so it'll scratch well on that metal. And I'm just scribing me a mark around it so I don't have to mess with it. And you know, this can be scribed too. So it's not going to hurt anything, just another line on here. This side seems to be a little concave, which is good for us. Well, it's not that concave. Old eyeballs are not what they used to be 8 months ago. 8 months ago, I was cross-sighted, or 7 months ago, cross-sighted. Couldn't do much of anything. They had me on so much medicine, they said I was hallucinating. I think they were right. Because people don't really have two noses on their face. I did too much. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see my alignment. My occupational therapist, there it is. Be proud of me doing all this work with my hands. I think that's it. Now, I didn't mark this, but I'm pretty sure it's okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect for this part. I moved it when I set it down. Wouldn't have to do this if I felt safe enough to use the big lathe. Like I said, that's a gearhead lathe and it won't stop for nothing. Bob, on the other hand, is a belt drive. And if I overload it, something overloads it, it will slip. I'm going to start right there and see what it does. I say I am. I hope it's got contact now. Before I get all suited up, I could try. It doesn't there, that's for sure. Well, as you can see, I've come up with a solution. I just can't grind that bottom where it'll touch. So what I'm going to do is weld that little tab on there where it's clamped. Just tack weld the side of it. And that'll give a good ground all the way through that piece of metal. Stop it right there. Okay, folks. That worked. Okay, there's my setup. And I tacked this up here just to prove it'd go all the way through. It's just the bottom of this is so corroded and bumpy that it's not making good contact. Wish me luck. What does it look like? I think it's pretty good. I'm getting real wall penetration, and I can see it as it's going around. I think just for being safe, I'm going to put another bead onto the metal. I don't want it falling off, spinning around me. Can't play dodgeball very much. Come back around. That was a pretty good speed. Just need to get... Excuse me. I'm going to lay a bead around the bottom now. Well, no wonder I couldn't see worth the damn under here. I have my glasses on. Crap. I'm like the Hells Angels are outside again. We live on a very scenic road outside of Houston, and everybody likes to ride their motorcycles out here. All right. Now, this is where I really got started feeling it good. Need to practice with it and see what kind of... I didn't get down very far into there when... This is where the clamp was. And it screwed me up every time, and I tried to come back to it and come back around. Looks like a 12-year-old did this. Hell, I was welding a 12 and could do better than that. Anyway, as I was talking about people in other countries and how they do things, put you guys up there in the stands, I really noticed something that made an impression on me. There's one Pakistani group, and they use planer steel. In fact, one of them was belt-driven, a really old one. Nothing like my hydraulic one. But he was using it most of the time to put key shafts in a wheel or something. And those guys didn't use the hold-down fixtures like I always use. They welded a piece like this that had a bolt hole in it, 2 or 3 places, then could stand it up on its edge or lay it down, whatever they needed to do, And then the last thing they did when they got off, they knocked that thing up. That's what gave me the idea of doing it this way. There's one. Don't touch that, Steve. Going to turn that part off anyway, so that worked. Thank you, Pakistani people, for a nice idea. I'm going to let that cool down. Let me cool down. God, that's awful. But I think it'll hold.